Members, let's turn to item number 6, statements. We have 3 statements, and the first one stands the name of Honorable Rockson Nelson Dafeamekpor, Member of Parliament for South Dayi. Honorable, you may take the floor and read your statement.
Mr. Speaker, I must express my gratitude for the opportunity to make this statement. Mr. Speaker, this statement, and for that matter, the opportunity to bring to the attention of this House an important issue of concern to many of our compatriots who wish to study and work abroad. Mr. Speaker, there's a growing concern among a section of our people on the need for one to take the English language proficiency test required by the United Kingdom, the United States, and other parts of European countries from English-speaking countries in Africa. Mr. Speaker, the test for English language proficiency for non-native English language speakers, known as International English Language Testing System, popularly known as IELTS, is managed by the British Council among other institutions. Mr. Speaker, cost an amount of £150, the dollar equivalent of $200 per applicant to be able to take the test. Mr. Speaker, the interesting fact is that this test has a duration of 2 years. And Mr. Speaker, when it expires, one is required to apply to take it once more for purposes of either education or for work in the United Kingdom. Mr. Speaker, in Ghana, aside the local languages that are pursued in our various institutions of learning, all other tests are carried in the English language. Indeed, a good pass in the English language is a requirement for one to progress from, say, the junior high school through to the university. Mr. Speaker, this requirement has seen many students retake exams after their unsuccessful attempts in order to meet the pass mark required to either enter the security services or pursue further studies. Mr. Speaker, Ghana is a member of the Commonwealth country dating back as far as 1957, when we attained self-rule from the British. Indeed, Mr. Speaker, there are 19 Commonwealth countries from Africa who are all former British colonies, including ourselves, Ghana. Mr. Speaker, as far back as 1931, South Africa joined the Commonwealth, but due to some circumstances, it exited in 1961 and later rejoined in 1994. Mr. Speaker, other Commonwealth countries in Ghana include Malawi, Botswana, Zambia, Zimbabwe, Kenya, Tanzania, amongst others. Mr. Speaker, from the available statistics, between 2010 and 2019, the number of Ghanaian students in tertiary institutions abroad, especially in the United Kingdom, rose from about 9,329 to 17,212. And Mr. Speaker, this is sourced from the UK studying in UK.org, which is an organization that collects statistics on foreign students studying abroad. Mr. Speaker, the United Kingdom witnesses a lot of influx from students from Africa and, for that matter, Ghana. Mr. Speaker, for instance, in the 2017-2018 academic year alone, this same institution called Study in the UK.org estimates that there were 1,475 Ghanaian students studying at different stages in the United Kingdom universities. Mr. Speaker, from this record, this made Ghana the third country with the largest students from Africa in the United Kingdom studying, that's behind Egypt, with 2,570 students, and Kenya with 2,119 students. Mr. Speaker, out of these figures, 1,080 of the students were pursuing various courses at the graduate level, with the rest 395 students pursuing undergraduate studies. Mr. Speaker, these figures have gone up since. Mr. Speaker, according to Mark Rockson, Director of English and Exams of the British Council, he says that between 2013 and now, the United Kingdom English teaching section for international opportunities added approximately £2 billion to the United Kingdom economy. And Mr. Speaker, that is done annually. And Mr. Speaker, according to this director, this figure is expected to hit £3 billion by the year 2020. Mr. Speaker, this again is sourced from the British Council's own report called The English Effect at page 14. The British Council's partnership with the UK Examinations Board has generated £60 million in export earnings for UK exams boards per annum as at 2013. Mr. Speaker, in the 2018-2019 year, the British Council was expected to provide exams for approximately 4 million candidates. And Mr. Speaker, the figures again have it that between 2015 and 2016, the British Council earned a total of £980 million from these examinations. And Mr. Speaker, out of this figure, English language exams, which is the subject of this statement, is said to account for 58% of these earnings, which translates into £568 million. And Mr. Speaker, this information is also sourced from the British Council's own annual report and accounts, 2015-2016, at page 54. Mr. Speaker, I do not intend to bore you with these statistics, but it is to let the House appreciate the fact that these various tests called IELTS, SLET, TOEFL, SAT, and all, are not only functioning as a medium of assessing our students and migrants, but are also avenues for revenue making to these countries through their representative consulates. Mr. Speaker, what's of concern is for Ghana, like other English-speaking countries in Africa, who are former colonies of the United Kingdom, to continue to remain on the list of countries required to have results from IELTS before they are admitted into the country for work or for studies or for any other such purpose. Mr. Speaker, what then is our benefits for being a member of the Commonwealth? Mr. Speaker, it is important to know that the English test requirements differ from university to university and from undergraduate to postgraduate study programs. Quite an appreciable number of United Kingdom universities, for instance, accept an IELTS results of between 6.0 to 7.0 as a minimum requirement for undergraduate programs. While at the postgraduate level, the minimum requirement ranges from between 6.0 to 7.05, which are between the equivalence of an A-level or a GCSE English score of a B to C. Mr. Speaker, as a former British colony, this remains one of the most unfair conditions that continue to remain between Ghana as a former British colony and the United Kingdom for citizens who want to pursue studies in the United Kingdom. Mr. Speaker, not too long ago, Malawians took to petitioning Britain over the same set of exams for an exception. Mr. Speaker, the story was carried in 2021 in the Nyasa Times, a Malawian online news portal, where the petitioners assessed the requirements for IELTS as an extortion while calling on the United Kingdom to appreciate their ties with Malawi as a former colony whose academics are defined within the English language. Mr. Speaker, in a related development, just a couple of days ago, a minimum of 60,000 Nigerians took to signing a petition and the use of social media to demand from the United Kingdom to abolish the requirements of this set of exams as a condition for schooling and immigration purposes in the United Kingdom for persons from English-speaking African countries. The position of our compatriots in Nigeria, Mr. Speaker, is not different from those in Malawi. They also hold the view that the test is simply a means to make money from the process and the need to reconsider their status as an English-speaking country and a former British colony. Mr. Speaker, I want to use this opportunity to solicit the support of this House in impressing upon the British High Commission, the British Council, and the United Kingdom government to take Ghana out of the list of IELTS required countries. Mr. Speaker, I must concede that there are some educational institutions in the United Kingdom and other jurisdictions mentioned that do exempt students from Ghana depending on their scores at school. But that is not enough. To leave such a delicate matter of who should be exempted and who should be required in the hands of who should be required to take the exams in the hands of individual institutions is not good enough. Ghana needs to be recognized by the United Kingdom as an English-speaking country whose entire educational structure requires convincing passes in the English language. Mr. Speaker, our business in this chamber is conducted in English. And the Hansard, which is the memory of this House, is also conducted in English and printed in English. Mr. Speaker, on the totality of the above, I invite my colleagues in this very important drive as they can bear testimony to the financial impact of sitting for these exams aside the school fees required to pursue further studies, some of which are twice what citizens of those countries pay. Mr. Speaker, I thank you for giving me the opportunity to bring this matter to the attention of this House. Thank you.